political aspirations. And the reason why I wanted to bring this up, it's because even during like the Maandamano, there was something that's very important that stood out, because I saw like one of your clips talking to journalists and stuff. But also, we did have like a lot of young people who were just like, spokesmen, spokeswomen.
Yes.
But, the one who stood out was like the guy with the bow tie.
Casmuel.
Casmuel, right? And I remember at that time, no, relax. Remember at that time, we were like, okay, this is somebody who's representing like, the young people and the young voices. So what would make us look at you
Yes.
and not think that even for you, like maybe, because I know, I can see politicians will definitely approach you within a couple of, they're going to come for you, you know that. They'll forget these brand deals just because of you being an activist, and number two, being a woman. You are very like just, you'd be like the best chess move for any political party to have.
And I mean, my background is very policy and politics oriented.
Already?
And yeah, I mean, I do international studies. Studies is politics on an international scale. Let me answer that question. So
I hadn't even finished. How sure are we that when these guys come and give you that offer, you won't turn into Casmuel? Because like during that time, he was doing his speeches. You are also doing your activism like online, and you're also like doing like the interviews as well with a lot of press and stuff. So how sure are we you won't turn on us?
So I think that's
because other women have done it as well.
So I think that's a really, really good question.
Okay.
Let me start by saying there's nothing wrong with young people, and there's nothing wrong with activists aspiring for public office. Boniface Mwangi himself ran for MP of Starehe, I believe, in 2012. Was it 2012 or 2013? No, 2013. 2013 or 2017. I don't remember. Either 2013 or 2017.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong with us aspiring for public office. In fact, actually, my first interactions of looking at Casmuel, people were saying he's like a modern day Tom Mboya.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with aspiring for public office. And I firmly believe the next president of Kenya should be an independent candidate. I have now problems when it comes to political parties, political affiliations. With Casmuel, it's that he sided with Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga has stabbed Kenyans in the back so many times with that handshake. Raila Odinga has been co-opted so many times. So I think it was, first he aligned himself with Raila Odinga. He's flying around with him in choppers. He's benefiting firsthand from the corruption that people were dying when protesting about, When the Maandamano was happening and people started talking about a Gen Z political party, and then people started bashing them down, I did not agree with that. I was thinking anybody who's talking about a Gen Z political party is now thinking in the right direction. Because what change are we going to affect if we stay outside the system? Let me tell you, government have the power. You can stand outside and shout all you want, but finance bill was never rejected. It went through.
I said that on my podcast, and I was almost like, in fact, I said before the violence and chaos happened, I said like just how Kenyan politicians play their game.
Everything that was in that finance bill happened. Chief, I mean, we are still dealing with the effects of that today.
And a lot of people are
dying every day.
Exactly.
Private hospitals have stopped taking shift completely. Right? And it's because the government owes hospitals money, and that's why we don't have money.
I've told like even Nairobi Hospital, there's a back order of like people, they are just payments that have never been done.
Yeah, and meanwhile we are asking for budgets to renovate State House, and we are asking for affordable housing. Even affordable housing, this is the government trying to implement projects that benefit them. Because what will you do with affordable housing and you can't get medicine?
Yeah.
What will you do with affordable housing and children are still learning under trees in schools?
True.
What will you do with that affordable housing? Of course, it's a project that Ruto is making to make his own money, So when we start thinking, how do we launch? And I said this, I don't remember which forum I was in. And I said this, we need to make young people, we need to take young people outside of the spaces of advocacy, all the time advocating. No, we now need to be in decision-making spaces. We need to have our seat at the table, So will I be a politician? Who knows?
Do you want to be a politician?
I don't think politics is for me.
Hold on.
No, let me tell you. Let me just finish.
Okay.
When I say politics is not for me. I mean, maybe not like front and center. I know that doesn't seem like the thing. Everybody always tells me, oh, Tatiana, we'll vote for you when the time comes. Maybe not front and center. I do have an interest in politics as a space, campaign and how it all works. It's very interesting to me. Like I find it interesting. That's why I am an activist, because I like looking at systems and why does it work this way, and what can I do? What can I do to make it better? And even if you were to ask me something like, what are some of the ideas you have to make Kenya a better place?
Yeah.
Like I can give you ideas. And so I understand that being in a position where probably I was president, I could do that. But I quite enjoy, maybe if I was to go into that, I would go into civil service or advisory. I don't know if I have the stomach for politics, quite frankly. And yeah, I want to remain always in a position where my integrity is never compromised.
Because, once you join like
Exactly.
especially like a party, it's almost impossible to say that you won't.
I really don't want to get sucked into the system.
Yeah.
And as much as I do have a few politicians here and there that I know personally, I think they are good politicians. I don't want to endorse anyone,
Okay.
I don't want to endorse, because I might say that today and then tomorrow a scandal comes out, like you never know. So always be wary of people that are already in the system, because it's a dirty system.
It's wild, because politics in general in Kenya, and even like, let's just think about like, because even for your case, you would be representing like a lot of women if you got into it. And let's just be honest, like, lately also like women, we're already used to men acting in a certain way, especially like politicians. But now we've also seen like just a lot of like, just women in general who we did not expect to be that way. Because like I was even writing down, I was just like, like young girls when they're looking up to women, and we do have like just, let me just see so that I don't start saying random things without facts. Okay, so now like we can say like Kawera Mwangaza, who was just impeached recently, who faced at least like 7 charges, which included misappropriation and misuse of county resources and funds, nepotism, and related unethical practices.
When it comes to people being held accountable in corruption, for corruption charges in this regime, including the deputy president, ex-deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua.
Oh, yeah.
It's not about justice. It's about them maybe pissing off someone somewhere up there at the top. Yeah. And this is so routine for Ruto's government. So I think we need to stop looking at so-and-so has been impeached or so-and-so has been removed. I know that that's not what you're saying, but I'm just putting that out there. Like, I want us to look at this systemic removal of DPs, of MPs, of attempted removal of the CJ, IGs, Inspector General Polices resigning. Like, what is happening? We've changed cabinet like 3 times. People are changing office. It's very, very suspicious, all of it.
Another thing, even like just why I'm touching on like women representatives is because like, if you were to enter that political space,
that I would start with trying to vie for women rep.
No, that you will take already, definitely.
I actually
don't see yourself replacing Pasaris if you, like,
I actually think that whole thing of women rep just needs to go.
But, like,
it's even
because you participated in the femicide march, there were a lot of people who were booed.
I was there. I was
Esther
among the people
Pasaris
who told her to go home.
And that's why I'm saying, like, why I'm
because she wants to come and tell us that the water you guys are drinking, the t-shirts you guys are wearing, I bought it. Where were you when women were being killed? Where
she's buying it with taxpayers' money. First of all, it's not your money.
You're the one who bought
it's not your money. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, now, like, I'm just saying, like, a lot, and even recently, like, I think last week we have Gloria Orwaba, who had like a long month suspension for breaching parliamentary code of conduct.
Yeah, because of the whole end period. Anyway, let me not get into that.
I'm almost done. Like, just, like I'm saying, because like a lot of other younger girls are looking up to these women, and we always have to, regardless of whatever people say, we always have to hold women at a slightly different standard, because we're like, oh, women women should like be able to do, better. We expect them to do better, especially when they're in those positions. But now if they prove they're as bad as like, the rest of the men, because now let's say...
But we do need better examples of women in politics. I'll just say
that's where I'm going for, because that's what I'm going with.
Yeah.
And you see, okay, somebody like
Anne
Waiguru, she had been tied to
buying a biro pen for 50K.
First of all, let's talk about the scandal. Was 791 million scandal. That's how much we're talking about. Okay, let's go to like maybe someone like Senator Tabitha Karanja. Of course, let's tax evasion of over 14.5 billion.
I think that can clear the shift debt.
Exactly. Okay, now we have somebody like, let's say, Millicent Omanga. I don't even know what she does, but no, we have her.
She vied for women's rep.
She didn't win.
Nairobi, but she vied.
Yeah,
she was the UDA.
But her car collection is worth over 100 million right now. If I'm not wrong. She's been bringing in like new cars, new Range Rover, new Bentley,
and it's
Bentayga.
The audacity for me. Yeah?
And she posts, and it's so wild because now I'm like...
Even Karen Nyamu, by the way.
Karen Nyamu, let's just... For her, if it's not like fighting baby dad, it's like... she's just
like
between
what?
like so much that... Now we're like, hey, yo, we were... Honestly speaking, we're expecting women to do
women
slightly...
in politics is quite a shame.
It's crazy
Big
because...
shout out to... and I know I said I don't endorse, and this doesn't mean I'm endorsing... But big shout out to Millie Odhiambo, number one, to Martha Karua. Because
Karua,
even
amazing.
Martha Karua running for president in 2013, that's already breaking a glass ceiling, like nothing you can believe. So big shout out to that, because like otherwise, man,
but even
I
just how
agree
they
with what you're
conduct
saying. As women,
themselves.
we need to be more careful how we represent ourselves.
Yeah, honestly speaking.
Especially when we are coming into these male-dominated spaces. Because I feel like 2/3 gender majority rule... Here's the thing. We need to be making women count, not counting women. You know, like, let's have women that count, not counting women. I'd rather have 2-3 women in government that are doing
a good job.
Exactly.
Good job.
Exactly.
And I think even just conducting themselves like on a day-to-day basis.
Yes.
I mean, honestly speaking, I think the job could be better.
Yeah.
The job could be
but
better.
The women are doing the thing. Right now we have an AG who is a woman. We have a CJ who is a woman. I think her name is Dorcas.
Yeah.
Yes.
But that's why I'm saying, like, because if we now go to the men, like there's some people I wouldn't even know where to start. Somebody like Salasia exactly.
Salasia, Oscar Sudi. Kwanza, especially these UDA cronies. Let me call them that.
It's on the extreme. Even it's too much that you're just looking at people. You're like,
they just say anything. That's one thing I've never grasped about Kenyan politicians. Yeah. You can just stand and say anything. Let me tell you. Okay, I hope the Subaru Mambaru doesn't find me outside. Yeah. But I have a video of Esther Passaris at an engagement for 16 days of activism. This is the women's rep Nairobi County. We're in Mukuru kwa Ruben. And what she had to say about rape and femicide, she was saying, if you can find it in yourself to do that to a woman, heri uende ujiue. I'm like, okay, as a representative of the state, your solution to sexual and gender-based violence is suicide. Like, you can stand in front of people and say that. You guys didn't, like, do PR or anything like that?
And at times even, like, don't you just go through pointers of what you're going to say? Because that's your only job.
Have you ever seen them do that, by the way?
It scares me because...
They just take the mic and they just start talking.
Talking randomly.
Someone says, I'll talk to President Ruto to give you a machine that will make how many chapatis in one day.
Okay, And
I was really shocked because I was like, does he think people are not listening?
Okay, I'll tell you.
Was that a joke?
Maybe it might come out as a joke. But my question was, like, with the chapos, Mr. President, it depends now. The conversation needs to be expounded a bit.
Hold
on. That's why I wanted to say, like, if it's just chapo, Mr. President, like, what's the accompaniment? Are we talking about tea? Is it ndengu? Is it chapo beans? Is it
And by
chapo
the way, I
stew?
think we should
What are we talking
prioritize
about,
giving
man?
our children a very well-balanced diet. Man cannot live on chapati alone.
I think it's so unfortunate, but at times, even when you want, but what I know is, you also have to understand, like, a representation of our government is
a
a
representation of ourselves.
Us.
Thank you. That is
It's a
what
representation
I've
of
been
us.
telling people with this
So,
Densu story.
Yeah,
Because when you see
It's us.
the backlash that I've gotten online,
yeah,
you realize why these ad agencies are exploiting people.
yeah.
So our government, all these exploitive systems that we are in and that we experience, they are there because we uphold them.
Yeah.
Because come election time, and I'll invite you to watch Softy. Softy is Boniface Mwangi's documentary. I think it's accessible on YouTube.
Okay.
It's a great watch. And it talks about his... Can we please confirm? Because I don't want to misinform.
On YouTube.
When did he run for office? Was it 2013 or 2017? I think it was 2013, to be honest. Because from that documentary, it seemed like a while ago. If it was 2017, I would have remembered.
What was he running for?
MP Starehe. I think so.
Let's see.
I hope I've not spread misinformation.
Yeah, because especially with such things, we want, like, facts at least to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
But I think it was 2013.
2017. Boniface Mwangi made his political debut during the 2017 general elections, where he ran for a member of parliament for Starehe constituency.
Okay. At least I had half of the information right.
He contested under his own Ukweli party.
Yes, his own party, yes.
Yeah.
So, I think that's 27. Yeah, that is 2017. So where was I going with that? What were we talking about?
Representation of our country?
Yes. I was talking about, so in his documentary, it highlights his experience in running and how people refused to vote for him because he wasn't giving them money. Like, imagine, even if politicians come and they buy for you motorbikes, they'll come, they'll buy for you a motorbike, they'll buy for you a mkokoteni, they'll give you money. That doesn't mean you have to vote for them. And Bonnie is actually telling these guys, like, you know what I have to offer you? Policy reforms. I have to offer you change that you've never seen before. Like, I'm going to do better for you. And for them, they're like, how can we vote for someone who's broke? Because... And I'm just like, so you're voting for someone who is swimming in money and you don't have anything and they've made that money. Like, come on, Ruto was the deputy president of this country for 10 years. And before that, he was still in the game. I was watching this video that was, I think, a documentary of Ruto where his family is sitting around the table. And I'm looking, and this must have been like probably even 20 years ago. And I'm 21. And that time he had a Range Rover in his parking,
He's been rich for so long.
He's been rich for long, and he's been making that money from public office. He's been making that money from politics. Yeah. And that's why I don't want, I don't want to get involved because that's taxpayers' money.
It's almost impossible not to get tangled into, like, so many. Because we've seen everybody who comes with good intentions, and once they're in there, you just hear like crickets.
And if you ask me, I feel like the problem with Kenya is leadership. And the minute we make it such that, like, for example, if being a politician or being a public servant was something that was not so lucrative, maybe I would do it. Let me make my money elsewhere. Investments, savings, invest, business, but let public office be public office. Not a money-making scheme. My dad always tells me, if you want to make money in this Kenya, politics, that's where you do it. That's where all the mega rich in Kenya, they're either in politics or in big corporate where they collude with politicians.
Always. There's always like that mix.
Kina Safaricom. They collude.
But now you see, that's why if you think about all this, like, in a broad space, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so, because how easy would it even be? Or what's the possibility of you fighting, like, what's the name that I can use? Such a system that's already in place and seems to be favoring the politicians, and even the locals are already accustomed to it. Because even if we go to the simple things like corruption, there's a time I was asking somebody, like, because a lot of people are saying, like, we don't want corruption, but are Kenyans really ready for a corruption-free Kenya? Why if you just do a mistake?
If you do something bad, go to
you
jail.
go to court, go to jail immediately.
Yeah.
Are Kenyans ready for that though?
That's a good question.
I don't think they are.
That's a very good
Like if
question.
a cop catches you like crossing like the, like just driving, speeding off, like running lights, maybe on the zebra crossing when you're not supposed to be there, jaywalking. Are we ready for that? Like pay a fine? Like, how Dubai, like, you do like a small mistake.
You do the crime, you do the time.
Time immediately. Or the fines are crazy, like just anything silly. Throwing litter, like the way Nani is going around in circles, like every other day. This guy for Mazingira, what's his name?
The guy who for noise complaints.
No,
I like the way he comes with his measuring machine.
He's measuring. But you see how crazy, like in that everything, like once you set those standards and things start happening in motion, you see how everything can be held accountable. Like, okay, you guys, you're preaching, lower the volume
But it's true.
or close the in. You guys, it's a bar, lower it or close it. This concert, do you have? And it's.
But you see now in Kenya, it's a thing of double standards. The laws are for broke people.
That's
if
true.
you can afford it, you can live how you want. And I think, John, the way we deal with that problem is we all have to get accustomed to doing the right thing. Right now, I'm in uni, and I'll tell you for free, I've never cheated on a test. I've never cheated on a test. If I fail, I'll fail. If I pass, I pass.
What about your friends?
Writing, yeah, they cheat, but I don't snitch.
No. But here's the thing. That's what I'm saying. You see, for your case, you're talking about yourself. But now we're talking about a country.
But I'm just saying,
country is all of us.
I hear you. And that's why I said we need to get accustomed to doing the right thing. You know?
No, true.
I can't be standing on a platform of, these exploiters, this, and then myself, I do things that cheat the system.
As well.
So we just need to uphold that. And I know people always tell me, because I'm young, that right now it's so easy. And I often read books and biographies, and you'll always hear like, once someone is fresh out of university, you're in third, fourth year, your social justice meter is so high.
It's true.
You're just like, you're like, no, viva, woo! Like you're not having it, So I think we should hold on to that, because I think like the real world really, I know people who are in advertising.
Yeah.
And you're just like, right now, I need to pay my bills.
Yeah.
But you feel bad. Imagine you go to work every day. People have been in my DMs telling me I work in advertising and I come home every day and I don't know how to live with myself. Yeah. But I have to sleep in a bed. I have to eat something when
and you still have to wake up and go there tomorrow.
And continue exploiting people.
Yep.
And it's actually when I get texts like that, first, I'm grateful. And second, I don't judge. I get it. Like even me, I don't know if I would like be able to quit a job and you have responsibilities and there's no other opportunities for you.
Yeah.
But where you can do better, because maybe that person in their own right, let me frame this better. Mm-hmm. But as much as we talk about Kenyans as individuals and we talk about ourselves as individuals and change starts with me, I think it's very important to look at the system. I attended a forum on anti-corruption, and let me tell you, that was just a waste of money, because what were they doing? We had people from EACC coming to tell us, corruption starts with you. I was like, no, corruption is you.
You're the corruption.
If I cheat my exam, I've really, I understand that's going to create a problem in the future, and I've said that. But right now, my biggest problem is with people who actually sit down in one meeting and mint 400 million. How much do you say? 14 billion in one document. You've signed it like this.
Yep.
I think that is the biggest problem. From
it's
there,
crazy.
your little, even the cops who we bribe on the road, they pay someone at the end of the day.
Of course,
that
they
money.
collect. There's somebody on the upper
So
and they have
cop
targets.
Is not the
they
problem.
have targets as
and
well.
if you don't meet it,
you're getting sent to Wajir.
So you see, I don't think it's going to help us if we keep saying, it starts with me. And let's look at President Ruto and tell him where that mansion of yours. Yeah. Where did you get the money?
But when you're saying such things, aren't you afraid like this guy's for kidnap? Because me, I've said
afraid.
it. I've said it enough times on my podcast. Hey, I love my country and I love my president. I do not want any smoke because, hey, listen.
I'm afraid. It's scary.
This is a non-profit podcast because, first of all, you'll be here recording. The next minute, I'm heading just to go to my barber shop. If you just
It's scary. And honestly, I
crazy.
meet these activists and I'm just like, wow, kina Njeri Wamegwe. And actually, there's a time I was having a conversation with Njeri. I don't think she'll even remember it. I don't
Yeah.
want to like make it sound like I know her. No,
Yeah.
we met at a certain forum being held by KHRC. And I just was talking to her and she said, yeah, I'm scared. I'm always so scared. And when they catch me, I'm scared. And you know, it was so interesting to hear her say that because sometimes you like think of like these activists. Because, okay, nowadays, by the way, I know I say I'm an activist, but I think like activism these days is just common sense. Like, yeah. But like these are activists and you think like they are so fearless. Like they're scared. Do you know, I have a video that I post a lot on my close friends.
Yeah.
I have a video from the day I posted even that video for Dentsu. I was freaking out. I was scared. Like I was just like anxious. I was sweating. I was shaking. I was like, my goodness, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? And then I was like, I'm glad I've posted it, but at the same time, if people don't pick up on it, I could really be doing something crazy like here, you know. So I was really like freaking out. So I can only imagine those cases of abductions. You don't want it to be you, but at the same time, you feel like you also just can't sit down and keep quiet when that's their point. They're trying to make you scared so that you don't say anything.
One thing I'll give them credit for, and of course you can still correct me. No, listen.
Credit?
Yeah. I'll tell you why.
Credit. The hospitals give them enough credit.
Kenyan police and the government, they don't really... They try their best not to hurt women. They try their...
That's a lie.
No, listen.
That's a lie.
No, listen.
No,
They
I don't
try their
agree.
best.
Let me tell
Forget
you.
about the isolation of the dump site. How many women have been
Did you not
abducted?
see this thing that happened on X the other day? Was it yesterday or the day before? This activist journalist who was allegedly abducted and the marks she had on her head.
But that's one incident.
No. Let me tell you from my perspective.
You know why I'm saying that? Let me just finish.
That's
why?
not true.
Okay, let me finish and then you can jump in, right? You can, of course, and like remember, it's open conversation. You just tell me what you think.
I don't
because
think that's true.
How I have seen it, it's like, they've collected like men, like from like the lowest social circle to Boniface Mwangi. They see you talk too much, come for you. But women, we have very isolated cases. Because if that was the case, they wanted to pick up women, very easy. They would pick a lot because a lot of women are very vocal.
When I went for Mandamano, I had the same mentality as you. Like, even if they catch me, they won't beat me. Until we were in a running match with some cops. And then we entered some restaurant with my friends. And immediately we had entered. I think we were like the last people in.
Yeah.
And it was that first week of Mandamano, the week before 25th.
Yeah.
I think, the week before 25th. Especially that time, like people were so supportive. People in town who are going about their business, they're singing, they're like, "Now Chonge, okay, yeah, we stand with you, we support you." And even the restaurant owners were letting us in. It's later on, the more they continued, the more people were like trying to keep us out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this was the first days when people were being supportive. So we ran in with a group of the people we were with. They immediately closed the nini behind us, right? The door. Then someone runs in this side, and this side, it's like a gate. The watchman locks it.
Yeah.
To look out the window, one girl was left, and she was a babe. And I watched her get beaten, like with that stick. And that's when I was paralyzed. I was even scared of getting out of that restaurant because I was like, that was, first of all, the first Tuesday. I think it was June 8th or 6th, the first one that started. And I was just paralyzed. And I remember like being with my friends and looking at each other and like actually admitting like we are scared. Like,
but let me tell you why I said that. Because that's what I'm saying. Like, also still remember at the end of the day, still when you're thinking as a man, and let's say if we are cops, who would be the easiest people to catch, men or women?
I'm not going to answer that.
No, listen. And this is not like a battle of like, women run faster, men run faster.
It's
no.
circumstantial.
If I'm a cop and I have a target to arrest 15 or 20 people, who do you think my target would be? If they say like, oh, listen, both men and women, you catch whoever you can. Who do you think my target would be? Who would I go for? Who would be the easiest target to like just catch?
It's circumstantial. Maybe like
Listen, I think we both know
someone
that.
who looks a
I
bit
understand.
obese.
I understand, but
you
I
go
think
for-
I think
maybe
we both know the
someone
answer.
Who
I would pick just 20 women. I'd be like, guys, don't worry. Give me
'Cause that's
30, give me
assuming
30
that,
minutes.
you
Give
know,
me
you
30
can meet a
minutes.
Faith Kipyegon or something.
That's one. That's one. I have 19. Where are the other 19 Faith Kipyegons? I'm telling you. But I'm just
are you
saying, like,
assuming that guys run fast?
they do.
No.
They do. Even according to the Olympics, Bolt runs way much faster compared to like who's the lady? The lady with the nails and stuff, like a short lady who's like
Shakari Richards.
like, yeah, you can't compare her speed with like men's 100 meters. That's we're just talking about facts and data. Like that's just where men run way much faster. They said actually high schoolers run way much faster than professional Olympic 100-meter sprinters, women champs. And that's just facts.
Okay.
So if I'm a cop, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like cops, even at the back of their head, they still know. Like, you know, if we were to hurt, it would be a possibility they would hurt more women. But they don't. Because they still, at the end of the day, you still have a conscience.
But
That's
you know
why
what?
they
I
still,
feel like
it's still there. It's
I
still
feel like
there.
that's still what I was talking about, gender roles and sexism.
Yeah.
Like, issues are gendered because we have this idea of gender roles and stuff like that. That's why something like police brutality affects men more. Because
true.
men are supposed to be violent. They're supposed to know how to feel pain.
Yeah.
And you know what else is science? That women have a higher pain tolerance than men. I think it's the whole childbirth thing.
Oh, actually, that's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
But women actually have a much higher pain tolerance than men. Like, I might punch you and you'll play it off like you did in hurt. But if you punch me, I'll feel less pain than you did. Even though I'll still feel it hurt.
I get that. That part I get.
Yeah. So, you know, even these things are gendered. So even when you find women advocating for let's dismantle the patriarchy, let's dismantle gender roles, men benefit from that too. Because a police somewhere brutalizes young men, young boys, because they think that they're supposed to be able to take it.
True.
You know, it gets to a point where actually in this Kenya, if you're a man and maybe you're 25 years old and you've never been arrested, whether rightfully or wrongfully, it's almost impossible.
True.
They just see you and they just say, "We kijana tunaingia na wewe
Also,
ndani."
so you actually care about men as well.
Yeah, of course I care about men.
I thought you just picked like the side of like just me, it's just women, by the guys are bad, but you know. But I'm just saying, like,
let me tell you another thing about men.
Yeah.
Men's problems are not caused by women. Largely, no. Actually, if it's violence against men, mostly it's done by other men. If it's police brutality, who are those police? Do you find women police? Not that much. A woman police will just probably hustle you for a bribe, you know?
I'll give you another
Not
statistic
that much.
that might shock you.
I mean,
One out of every 5 or 6 men